All right, today we're cracking open the detective's toolkit for public health. We're talking about epidemiological measures. Now, these can seem a little intimidating, but honestly, each one is just a specialized tool. The real trick, the real key to solving any medical mystery is just knowing which tool to grab for the job. So, let's dive in.
So let's just jump right in with a puzzle, shall we? Take a look at this. Which one of these measures is the one you'd use to compare how common a disease is between two different groups, right now at one single moment? You've got 5 options there. Got an idea? Lock in your guess because we're going to spend the next few minutes breaking this all down, and I promise by the end, the answer is going to feel totally obvious.
Okay, time's up. The answer is B, the prevalence ratio. Hey, if you got it right, that's awesome. If not, seriously, don't sweat it, because the real question isn't just what the answer is, it's why, you know? Why is the prevalence ratio the perfect tool for this job, and what in the world do all those other options even do? Let's figure it out.
First up, we are going to build a really solid foundation by just focusing on our correct answer, the prevalence ratio. If we can get a perfect handle on this one tool, I promise understanding the rest of them is going to be so much easier.
So, by the book, the prevalence ratio compares the prevalence of a disease between two groups at a specific point in time. Let's just translate that. Prevalence is just a simple way of asking who has the disease right now. It's the total number of existing cases. And that last part, a specific point in time, that's the absolute key. We are not looking back, we're not looking forward, we're just looking at this single present moment.
You know, the best way to think about the prevalence ratio is to imagine it's a snapshot. It's like you're taking a single photograph of a whole population today. This ratio is the tool that lets you look at that one photo, that one frozen moment, and see if, say, Group A has a higher percentage of people with the disease than Group B.
And this, right here, is exactly why it was the right answer to our little pop quiz. The question asked for a measure that compares two groups. Check. It focused on existing cases at a given time? Check. And it specified looking at a single moment? Our snapshot? Check again. It's a perfect fit.
Okay, so we've got our main tool down. Now it's time to check out the rest of the toolkit. You see, the other options on that list, they weren't wrong answers, not really. They were just the wrong tools for this specific job. Each one is super powerful, but it's designed to answer a completely different kind of question.
So first up, the odds ratio. This one sounds pretty similar, right? But its job is totally different. So why wasn't this the right choice for our question?
Well, it's because the odds ratio looks backward. Instead of taking a snapshot of right now, it's more like a historian. It starts with a group of people who are already sick and another group who aren't, and then it asks, okay, looking back, what were the odds that you were exposed to something in the past compared to the healthy folks? It's a retrospective tool, not a present moment snapshot.
All right, next on the list, relative risk. This is another really common one. So what's its story? What does it do? Okay, so if the prevalence ratio is a snapshot, then relative risk is a movie. It starts with a group of healthy people and it follows them forward in time to see who gets sick. It's all about answering the question, what's the future risk of getting a disease if you're exposed to something versus not being exposed? It's all about predicting new cases over a period of time.
Let's keep this rhythm going. Now we've got the hazard ratio. This one can get a little tricky because it often gets confused with relative risk, but there's a really important difference.
The hazard ratio is also about looking forward in time, like a movie, but it adds a whole other dimension, speed. It's not just about if you get the disease, but how quickly you get it. Think of it like comparing two race cars. It doesn't just tell you who won the race, it compares their speed at every single point along the track.
And that brings us to our last option from the quiz, the attack rate. So what's the deal with this one? Why was it wrong?
The attack rate is the real specialist's tool. You don't pull this one out for just any old thing. You save it for a very specific situation, a short-term outbreak. So think about something like food poisoning at a big company picnic. The attack rate is what tells you exactly what percentage of people who ate the potato salad ended up getting sick. It's a lifesaver for those kinds of acute, localized events, but it's not meant for comparing general disease frequency in a population.
Phew, okay, we've looked at all the individual tools in the box. Now, let's put them all together on one table, kind of like a master cheat sheet. This is where you're going to see it all just click into place.
See? This table just lays it all out so clearly. If your question is about what's happening right now, you grab the prevalence ratio. If you need to investigate the past, you use the odds ratio. To predict the future risk, you need relative risk.
To measure the speed of that risk, you've got the hazard ratio. And for that one specific outbreak, you pull out the attack rate. Each one has its own perfect time and place.
So, after all of that, what's the one big thing you should take away from this? It's simple. In epidemiology, the question you ask is absolutely everything. That question dictates your methods, your study design, and most importantly, the statistical tool you choose to make sense of all the data. At the end of the day, these aren't just dry, boring statistical measures. Every single ratio tells a story. So the next time you see one of these terms pop up, just ask yourself, what story is it trying to tell? Is it a snapshot of this moment, a history lesson about the past, or a movie about the future? Because understanding the tool is always the first step to truly understanding the answer.